Warning: the following video presentation contains scenes of extreme deliciousness. Failure to either eat first or bring a snack to consume during the presentation could result in wanting to lick the screen or in some way act the fool. Ain't nobody want that. Viewer discretion is advised.
Hello, boys and ghouls. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? What's it gonna be? DK's making a snack today. Shove it right into your mouth. DK's making a snack today. What's it gonna be? Is he making it for me? DK's making a snack today. It's time for tactical snacking with DK.
Hey folks, how's it going? This is the first time I've done a Saturday, well, since last week, I think. I don't remember if I streamed last Saturday or not. I think I did. Or not. I don't know. Anyways, welcome folks. So today is probably going to end up being a quicker stream than... Oh, and I totally didn't even write up the correct menu up on the board. It's been one of them days. Woke up with some back pain and was just like, oh, this is not great. Originally what I had planned was just going to end up being way too much work. And then Mrs. Hueso unearthed a recipe of her mom's this morning that I knew nothing about, but apparently had some significance to her. In that it was a chili recipe that she had kind of put together. And it's up on the Discord. If you hit !recipe, there's a picture of the original that's on there. But apparently she put it together and entered it into a chili contest of some form at church. And supposedly had won. Now, I had never heard her talk about this particular recipe. Mrs. Hueso said that she had on a number of occasions, and neither of us have eaten it. So I've literally had this recipe in my hands for about 8 hours, but figured, you know what, let's give it a shot as it's written. I do have some concerns. Hey, Avocado Green KitchenAid, how's it going? I do have a couple of concerns about it, but I'm willing to give it a shot as it is, and then tweak and make adjustments as necessary. One of the big things on it is the fact that it's done in a crock pot slowly over the course of 8 to 10 hours. Ain't nobody got time for that. So in doing a little bit of research in terms of making chili in the Instant Pot, it's 10 minutes on high pressure with a natural release. And because there's not a ton of volume in it and a lot of liquid, the natural release should take, I don't know, maybe 15 minutes or so. So it'll be relatively quick. At least that's the plan. We'll see how it goes from there. So for those playing along at home, the recipe, which again I will show here, and it is on the Discord. It calls for 2 pounds of ground beef, bell pepper, I assumed green, a large or 2 small celery stalks, which I have here, a small to medium onion. I've got a couple of onions here, one of which I'm going to be putting into the chili, and then I'm going to be dicing up some of the other one to go on top at the end, and a couple of cloves of garlic minced, which I'll just put through the press. And then in terms of the rest of the ingredients, we're looking at a She has written here 29-ounce can of diced tomatoes undrained, a 30-ounce can of chili beans undrained, two 15-ounce cans of red kidney beans undrained, two 6-ounce cans of tomato paste, which kind of like gave me a little bit of a red flag, but I'm like, okay, well, let's, give it a shot. Half cup of ketchup, a tablespoon of chili powder, 2 teaspoons of brown sugar, 2 teaspoons of vinegar, 1.5 salt, as is written, I'm assuming teaspoons, 2 teaspoons of Worcestershire sauce, a teaspoon of mustard powder, a teaspoon of cumin, and between a half to a teaspoon of crushed red pepper flakes. And that is the complete rundown on things. So all she has for instructions is browning together in the frying pan the beef through the garlic, and then putting it into the crock pot, and then adding the rest of the stuff and letting it go. I'm gonna do the ground beef, etc., like I would taco meat. So getting it into the pan, getting water into it, breaking it down, so then that way it's got a much finer consistency. So that's the plan of action. So I'm gonna get that started before I start dicing up the vegetation and then getting it into the pan. So, okay. There we go. So the taco meat methodology is literally the meat into the pan, and then I'm adding enough water so that I can break it up, and it breaks down into a really fine consistency as opposed to having larger chunks. And what it also does is it yields a really, really tender ground meat mix. So I've got the heat on, but I'm just kind of breaking this down initially, and then we'll get to dicing up the vegetation and then adding it to the pan. And then we'll let this cook down until all the water is gone and it starts to brown a little bit. And then we'll add it to the Instant Pot with everything else. This is, I believe, 85%. So there's not a ton of fat. There is some. Add just a bit more. And I know it seems really counterintuitive and it seems kind of like crazy, like why would you like add water to this? But in my experience, it just yields a significantly better ground meat product. I'll do this with pork, I'll do it with, basically any ground meat. Okay. So that is good to go. And I'm going to leave that there to do its thing for the time being. So I'm going to dice up my vegetation so then that way I can take it over there and add it to the pan. How's everyone else's Saturday going? In spite of my back pain, it's actually been pretty productive, I think. canceled my old ISP this morning. That was amazingly a relatively painless process, I should say. Which is pretty nice. Although, to be fair, my experience in general with my previous ISPs actually been pretty good, in spite of any number of horror stories that you hear. But, you know, hey, your needs change, and so you gotta do what you gotta do. Plus, it's also way cheaper. And faster. Hi, Jane. Okay. Just getting rid of the seeds here. Oh, hi, little girl. Here's the beef bubbling. Let's go give it a stir real quick. It's coming along really nicely. Okay. That's okay. I mean, it's Saturday night, I get it. People are, you know, out or, you know, they're doing stuff. So I get it. That is, yep, that's it for the green pepper. Now onto the onion. I'm using white onion today just because they looked better than the selection of yellow onions when I went to the market. Yep. Yeah, both of us have been productive today. Mrs. Wayso has done a number of things. I've done a bunch of things. Onion, done. Or at least that part of it. I'll worry about dicing up the onion for the topping after we get everything going in the Instant Pot. These will just do right into the pot. Yeah, you can already tell that the texture of the ground beef is much finer than you just tried, putting it to a hot pan and browning it that way. Okay. Okay, 3 cloves of garlic, 2 things of celery, green bell pepper, and medium onion. In the pan, cooking it. Yeah, so far so good. Okay, that's all in there. So I'm going to move this a little bit just so I can bring the Instant Pot into view. We'll keep it down at the end here. Well, it smells basically kind of like how when I make taco meat, really. Probably because I haven't made the taco meat in a while. That would be my guess. Okay. So now we get to move on to all the cans. So I've got my can of diced tomatoes here.
Hey, Scott. 3572.
Hey, what's going on, Scott? That whole thing. There we go. Then it calls for, it says a 30-ounce can of chili beans, but they didn't have the 30-ouncer, so I got the 215s. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't have, the recipe doesn't have me draining the cans at all. 2 cans of kidney beans. Chilly day today, so good day. Yep. Well, and this morning, it honestly felt like it was gonna rain. 2 cans of tomato paste. Whew. Not gonna lie, this has me a little concerned. Like, I honestly had thought maybe, you know, it's like, oh, like a can of tomato sauce as opposed to paste. And I've got camera on the stove instead of what I've been doing here the whole time.
One of those days.
One of them days. Can number 1. Can number 2. I was just using the little one here, the little spatula here, in order to get the stuff out of the cans. Alright, let's go give the stuff on the stove a stir. Okay. So far, so good. I'll bring the Instant Pot closer. Actually, I can lift it out so you can see what's going on it. Nope. There we go. There's the interior. A lot more liquid than I anticipated. I was a little concerned that there wouldn't necessarily be enough liquid, but clearly there is. Okay. Let's measure out everything else. Okay, let's see. Team dry ingredients. Cumin, a teaspoon. And let's see. Teaspoon of mustard powder. Yeah, it does kind of look like we're going to have chili for days there, Scott. I imagine what's going to end up having to happen is, well, A, depending on how it actually ends up tasting, then we'll probably end up freezing it. Chili powder, 1 tablespoon. Which feels a little low to me, but let's see. Brown sugar.
Put an extra bit for fun.
Yeah, okay.
You don't have
2 teaspoons of brown sugar. Yeah.
We need more and more. A lot of chili to be black.
To what?
To come out black.
To come out blah. Yeah, well, I mean, I am putting a teaspoon of red chili flake in. But this chili powder's got a really great flavor to it. And those chili beans were in kind of a sauce too. But this chili powder doesn't really have a ton of heat, so it's really kind of a non-issue. Okay. Now I think, yep, we're on to half cup of ketchup. And 2 teaspoons of vinegar. Yeah, I'm using cane vinegar. All it says is vinegar, and to be honest, I can't really foresee. I thought this had a teaspoon. But I can't really foresee Mrs. Hueso's mom using anything crazy. Probably distilled white or cider vinegar, and the cane vinegar I use in lieu of cider vinegar pretty frequently. So I figure we're safe here. That's just this is Worcestershire sauce that I've made. Okay. Get that stirred up. And let's see, did I miss anything? Diced tomatoes, chili beans, kidney beans, tomato paste, ketchup, chili powder, brown sugar, vinegar, salt. It's the only thing I haven't added yet. Teaspoon and a half of salt. Well, at least I'm assuming it's a teaspoon and a half, because all it says is 1.5 salt. And I figure 1.5 teaspoons is a pretty safe starting space. Because I can always add more, and I can't take it out, so. Alright. Well, I'm thinking what I should do in the meantime while I'm waiting for the meat. So I'm going to plug this in and get it on the saute function to get this kind of heated up. So then that way when we go to add the meat mixture and everything, it's not having to spend an extra long amount of time bringing the whole thing up to pressure. So that's the, yeah, super tomatoey, but that's how it goes. Alright, saute. Okay. Let's go check the stuff on the stove. Oh, we're getting there. Alright. So the rest of the moisture should evaporate off pretty quickly. Okay, it's on. Okay. Well, I can say at least that the stuff in the Instant Pot actually smells pretty decent, so. But yeah, it is super tomatoey. That's really close. I just have like all the meat scooted up to the corners just so then that way the liquid can evaporate off a little bit better, a little bit easier. I was just giving a wipe to the rim of the Instant Pot here. I'm gonna keep this paper towel around to wipe it down again, just so then that way there's a nice clean seal when we go to lid it up and let it do its thing. And then we'll, grate the cheese. We'll chop onion. I can put stuff away in the meantime. I'm waiting for a change in the sound because it'll actually start sounding like it's frying. There. That goes right here. There. 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 Okay. Give these a quick rinse in the meantime. that is just about ready to go. Starting to get some steam coming off of this. Alright. Getting all of this stirred together. Okay. Give that rim a quick wipe. And go inside. Alright, let's turn that.
Here.
Hey, it's the Punisher. How you doing, man? It's been a while. Okay. So the Instant Pot's going. I got it set for 10 minutes. You'd be doing better if you were making chili too. I hear you. 10 minutes on high, and then a natural release. Given the volume, I'm not entirely certain, but I'm thinking what we'll do is I'll probably aim for about a 15-minute, and then kind of see where we're at, unless it completely depressurizes before that. If that's the case, then fantastic. If not, I think we'll do a manual release at that point. Because, I mean, the meat's already cooked. Everything should be, good at that point. So, one of my favorite things to make in the Instant Pot. Oh, very nice. I am kind of curious, Mr. Connor. How long do you normally let the chili go in the Instant Pot? Because, at least from what I had been reading, seems like about 10 minutes on high with the natural release is pretty common. Ground beef, ground pork mixture too. Yeah, I imagine it would. This particular recipe was one that was developed by Mrs. Hueso's mom. And it was one that she had put together and entered. Hey, Ladentia, how's it going? So, this was her creation. The recipe can be seen there. There we go. I have a couple of concerns. Specifically the like all of the tomato paste, but honestly, everything going into it and the ground beef mixture that we just added to it, that it smelled good. So I'm hopeful that it'll be a good thing. Although it really is not going to have any. It'll have a little bit of warmth, but thankfully it's something that I can just add hot sauce to. So, and we have a plethora of hot sauces. So. I am just dicing onion just to go on the top of the chili after the fact. Then I've got some cheese to grate. I've got a bag of Fritos here since that's something that we happen to like with our chili. If I were in Cincinnati, it makes some spaghetti. Oh, on the Discord? Oh. Pressure Luck Cooking. Would you, hey, Scott Connor, if you're on the Discord, would you post that in there? Alright. Onion. Ready to go. Haven't opened Discord in months, but we'll try. It's probably gonna want you to do like 50 updates. Just grating some cheddar here. Let's see. Oh. Maybe a little bit more. Normally I do the large holes whenever I grate the stuff, but I kind of felt like the fine shred would be really nice on the chili today. Plus, if there's any left over, quesadilla. The only reason why this cheese is as soft as it is because it's actually been out for a little while. Just in getting 14 updates. Is that all? Alright, so we got cheese, we got onions. Got my Fritos. Okay. Oh, what else? No, I'm gonna leave it in there. It's gonna get out the sour cream, but I figured I should probably leave it in there, at least for the moment. I kind of feel like... Awesome. Thanks, Scott. I'll have a look at it a little bit later. I'm kind of thinking... Because, what was that, Tuesday? Yeah, it was Tuesday when we made the burritos. I'd gotten the pineapple, we had grilled it, but then I ended up sauteing it up with brown sugar and the rum and the butter in order to kind of make a topping for vanilla ice cream. well, I have a second pineapple that we haven't cut into, and at the moment I'm kind of thinking that's what I want to do. Make some more of that because that was super, super good. Saltines crumbled up. Oh, okay. Right on. Yeah, I mean, I know people like to put like diced up jalapenos on there. I don't know. Everyone kind of has their own chili toppings that they're a big fan of. But I don't know. I for me, like onions and cheese and, you know, on a bed of Fritos is kind of my go-to when it comes to chili, personally. Lots and lots of shredded cheddar. Yeah, totally. Okay, so you know what? I'm gonna wash the wok that I got on the stove, and then let's break down that pineapple, get it all cut up, and yeah, we'll get it cooked up for dessert because I got time. All right. Already done.
Well, let me do the rest.
Okay. Okay, so I've got pineapple. It's one of these mini honey glows from Del Monte that are incredibly sweet, smell amazing. And for this, I think I'm going to glove up. Alright, so I'm seeing steam coming out of the vent. So it's heating up and getting there. And the smell when you open the lid after cooking. Oh yeah, totally. Alright, let's... Oh. That's weird. It's saying 10 minutes, but that pressure valve is not up at all. Weird. I don't know why it started the timer. I mean, it's not a pressure. Holding it up like that, it's actually starting to build the pressure. Can't quite see it because it's just off camera. So if you're familiar with the top of an Instant Pot, there's the normal steam release valve, but then there's also kind of the pressure indicator valve, which is for me a little red dealie that has a silicone bit on the underside. And what happens is once it builds enough pressure, it pushes it up and keeps it up, and then that's how it completely develops that pressure. But for whatever reason, it decided to start the timer without having built up the pressure, which is odd. But it's now staying up on its own, so Alright, back to the pineapple. Oh man, it smells so good. Okay, so what I'm aiming to do is just take off enough that I'm hopefully getting these little bits that have like the seeds and stuff in them. Yeah, that's a fairly common occurrence I've seen is like the next day that for whatever reason it just seems like it tastes better. And I don't have an explanation as to why it's like that, but it is one of those things that, you know, you kind of notice that once it's had time to actually sit and kind of meld and do its thing, it just ends up tasting a bit better. Just trying to get rid of the bits where the seeds are hiding. Yep. Okay. So for this, I don't think I want as fine of a dice as I did the other day. I'm gonna go for more chunks, so all I'm doing is I'm just running it straight through. Ah! So I still have a piece of core running right down the center here. Okay. Core is out. Let's see. Yeah, okay. So each of these fourths and the fourths ish. And then we'll chop them up and then saute them up. Should be delicious. I mean, it was the other day.
The only difference is they're not grilled. Is that gonna matter?
I don't think so, to be honest. I mean, the grilling was an initial cooking process, but I imagine this will just take a little bit longer purely because it's being sauteed as opposed to grilled first. And so, like, that was most of the way, you know, cooked, but then this way the juices will have a chance to actually kind of concentrate and evaporate in the pan itself. So I've already got an onion there. Let's just put it in here, since I'll probably put it back into this after the fact. that is tasty. Alright, so all my cutting is done, so I can get this out of here. Alright, brown sugar, pineapple.
Avocado is bouncing.
Okay. Alright, have a good night, Avocado Green KitchenAid. Alright. Alrighty. Butter overboard. Alright. So I'm just gonna turn this into brown butter before I start sauteing up the pineapple. Just for a little additional flavor. Hail Hydrate. Hi, puppy. Yeah, for this I'm not really measuring anything. I'm just kind of doing it by feel, just because I've done this kind of thing a bunch of times. How come it tastes so good? Because there's no water and the milk solids have browned and gotten nutty and delicious. All right. Okay, so that's the 10 minutes on the Instant Pot. Which... So we got 0. Still out of frame. Let's move it over here. So this little red dealie right here, this is the thing that we're watching and we're waiting for it to drop down. That'll tell us that we've hit the full natural release on it. I'm going to set a timer for 15 minutes. Just to see kind of where we're at that point. Because in theory we should be able to crack it open and be good to go. Might need to turn it back on a saute to reduce it a little bit if it's a little too thin. But we'll see. I don't know. It's an experiment. We'll see what happens. Back to the pineapple. I did add a pinch of salt, just to kind of help balance things out a bit. I mean, I really want these to kind of cook down and soften up. It'll just be that much better. while that's doing its thing, I'm gonna go check this. So, okay. Did you see Midnight Sumo's on?
No. Gotta get me some salt.
Tonight they're probably showing like a collegiate tournament or something.
Saturday. It's like in both butts.
Nice. Slash is concentrating and doing its thing. It'll be a fun flambe effect once we add the rum and go to burn off the alcohol, so that'll be good. Very good. Starting to get some color on here, it looks like. That's good. That's what I wanted. Yeah. So, I was watching it because it had been like a fair amount of liquid had come out and it started to cook down, but now it looks like that's kind of finished. So let's add the brown sugar now. Okay. So that's cooking. That's doing its thing. Alright, time for a splash of rum. I'll do it off the heat just so then that way I don't get a face full of flame right off the bat. Okay. There we go. That is cooking down nicely. How'd the flames look on camera?
Excellent.
Nice. Fire's fun. Cook that down for just a little bit more. And then there's the pineapple all done. And as this cools down a little bit, that sauce will thicken up just because that's kind of the nature of the sugar and everything else. That is still up, which is, expected. I've got $6.18 on the timer, so that's what we got left. Should probably get bowls. I'm thinking, at least right now, I'm not getting big bowls right off the bat, only because, whoa. The bowl decided it wanted to take a knife off the wall. We're not entirely certain how this is turning out, so I just want to kind of give it a taste initially, and then kind of figure out, okay, do we want to adjust it? Do we need to add anything? Any more additional seasoning, salt, whatever, before like dumping everything else kind of into it. So that's kind of where we're at. Oh. Pressure dealie just dropped. So I can turn this off. Okay. That is what we're looking at. Let's get a light. Okay, well, let's give it a taste. There's what we're looking at. So this is just straight out of the Instant Pot, all done. Darling? I think she ran to the bathroom or something like that. Okay, let's give this a taste and see what's what. like the ketchup comes through, but it's not like, it's not bad. To be honest, like, I think for my own personal taste, like a couple of splashes of hot sauce, and I think I'm golden.
Getting back to this chili.
You want to come give it a taste?
Sure, how is it? You're not going to say, are you?
I did just say to all the millions upon millions of viewers,
But I had to go to the bathroom.
I figured this was. Here, I already got you. Give it a taste.
Okay. Hold that. Pineapple smells fantastic. It's hot.
It is hot.
Very good.
Yeah, it's not bad. Like I said, I mean, the tomato definitely does come through.
Tomato comes through, but it's not horrible.
No, it's not.
Thinking a pinch of salt.
Yeah, I think a pinch of salt probably. Also for me, I think a couple of dashes of hot sauce.
Yes.
And
Which one?
Yeah, exactly. Which one? But I think, yeah. So let me grab the salt. You mate?
I would almost say kidney beans could go just a hair longer. This is pretty good. With all the yummy toppings, it'll be even better.
Yeah. Okay.
To be honest, I like the tomatoey flavor.
I feel like what?
I don't know, something more could be added.
Well,
Like a, I don't want to use the word herb, but I feel like that's missing a little bit of flavor profile.
like the chili powder, I think is. That was one of the things that I concerned me quite a bit. I think I'm going to add a couple of dashes of Tapatio myself.
You don't want to use the expensive stuff?
Well, I think the Tapatio is going to work pretty nicely with this. Let's give it a quick taste before. I didn't take a huge bite, I just had like a little bit.
Thank you.
But there is a warmth there. Like it takes a minute, but it'll come. Hey, Jane.
Whew, I'm hot.
So here's the sour cream. For you.
For me?
Okay.
That's good.
Yeah, I think a couple of dashes of Tapatio, but okay.
But I wonder if, like, a hot sauce like if it wasn't so expensive, the Hellfire Kitchen one.
Oh yeah, the Hellfire Kitchen one I think would be good. The Crimson Red from Bravado I think would also be really good.
That one's not as expensive.
No, it's not. So I kind of feel like in terms of like in tweaking this particular recipe,
Take two.
the changes that I would make is I think I would add the tomato. I would only use 1 can of tomato paste. I would add it to the ground beef to kind of get some color on it, a little bit of caramelization, so then that way it just goes for a deeper flavor. I would drain the beans and the tomatoes and then replace that liquid with a combination of like beef or chicken bouillon or stock, broth, whatever. Probably beef. Well, beef and chicken. Just to kind of...
One of the Scots was suggesting a combo of pork and beef.
Oh, yeah. No, I think pork and beef would work fantastic for this. But that would definitely add additional flavor to this.
This is pretty good, though.
No, it is. I think it's pretty good, and I can see why it was probably pretty popular at the church chili cook-off.
Because it's on the safer side for the old folk.
It's very safe for the older folk.
Don't we have an open sour cream?
I think so.
Maybe I should use that first.
From what I remember, there's very little left.
Yeah. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. A little bit of sour cream. Or cream.
There we go. So there's the chili. There's our thumbnail. Alright, let's get this mixed up.
This is well, we made a lot, but it'll freeze.
Oh, let me send a bowl over to you by way of transport there, Scott Connor.
Amazon drones.
Yeah, Amazon drones.
How long do you think it'd take for Amazon drone to go across the country like that?
Quite a while.
But we could still get something to you in a few hours. Although it wouldn't go that fast. So.
Yeah, maybe if we had the Concorde or something like that.
Didn't they do away with that one after the big crash?
Okay, with the cheese and the Fritos and the onions, it's even better. Like, it wasn't bad, but it's definitely... Woo! Careful.
Oh, shake well. I didn't shake well.
Cap it up really well first, though.
I did. This is Hell's Kitchen.
Here.
We got it at the hot sauce convention a few weeks ago.
Their West Side Red artisan hot sauce. They describe it as a sriracha meets Louisiana style hot sauce, and it's pretty tasty.
It's very tasty. The night before, the guys wanted to go to karaoke, so we went to that,
Mm-hmm.
and we met the gentleman who owns this company. And I was like, I'm a baby when it comes to hot sauces. Just old age. And he's like, no, my hot sauces are good. They're not about heat, they're about flavor. And I'm like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm sold. So we bought the last 3 he had when we got to his booth the next day.
Yeah, like the Aurora Project or something like that, Scott. Aurora is the believed successor to the SR-71 project.
Oh. That's really good.
Right?
I'm going to say something. Please
Okay.
don't take offense.
I'm not.
But this is the best chili you've ever made. And I know you might, I'm like, no offense. No offense, baby, but your chilies are not my favorite. This is really good.
Okay.
This is nice chili.
But, yeah, I think if we replace, like, the liquid with, like, beef broth,
Mhm.
and then reduce, like, the tomato paste.
I don't know if we need to reduce the tomatoes.
No? Maybe.
It's not like they're that expensive. Do you want, I mean, is it too tomatoey for you?
It's a little too tomatoey, I think.
Okay. I'm willing to give it a try.
Like, a little too tomatoey, I think. But I'll eat it. In fact, part of me is thinking I need to get another bowl. One of the things I noticed about the recipe that I use is that it has more ingredients than normal, but it works.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to have a second bowl. But you also grabbed small bowls.
I did grab small bowls because we weren't sure what the situation was with it. But I think for like actual dinner, have to get a bigger bowl. But I think in the meantime, what I need to do I will be right back. Okay, yeah, I can totally see that. There's that vanilla ice cream with the sauteed pineapples in brown butter, touch of salt, brown sugar, and a bit of rum. That's so good. That pineapple is friggin' delicious. Helps when you start off with a good quality, like, nice ripe pineapple. Okay. Well, like I said at the beginning, shorter stream tonight, just because, well, Saturday night. So let's see who else is on right now. Well, I see Seven Kingdoms is on. So let's... Looks like they were packing... Yeah, they're hanging out and packing vinyl and sending stuff out. So yeah, let's go raid Seven Kingdoms. So here is the raid message. And thanks again, everyone, for popping in tonight. That was a bit of a shorter one, but appreciate everyone for being here. For the lurkers, anybody who just popped by to say yo, what's up? See what kind of dumpster fire was going on today. But the recipe is in the Discord. There's that. Few tweaks that we'll end up making in the future, but honestly, it came out pretty good. A little bit too tomatoey for my taste, so I'll want to tweak it just a touch, but overall not bad. So thanks everyone, love y'all. Let me set this up real quick. There we go. And I will see everyone on Tuesday. Take care, have a lovely weekend, love y'all.